the media for coming over. We know we've got a lot of work and a lot of stories around here, especially with the national team taking place. We just want to introduce Mr. Darren, who's the MD of VT South Africa. So I'd like him to introduce him, and then he can tell you what's it all about. Thank you. It's your stage.
Yeah. Thank you, Jomo. Morning, everyone. Morning. So this is a very interesting project. Let me just give you a little bit of history, a little bit of background on our company, and then we'll land up why we've landed up at this point where we are today. So VT Batteries is a international company, head office in Spain, where our core business is distribution of batteries. Okay, the company is 12 years old, and about 2016, VT Batteries signed an exclusive agreement for the Lucas brand of batteries and automotive spares. Now, for people in the industry, Lucas is a brand that's been around for 140 years. It used to be very, very strong in Africa. In fact, it used to be manufactured in some countries in Africa. And there were some problems with the company, and it took a dip. And in 2016, when VT Batteries signed the agreement to exclusively take over the Lucas brand across about 150 countries, the brand has now started reviving and has been on the increase. Last year, middle of last year, our strategy included the restructuring of the business, and we've set up a Africa, Oceania, and Indian Ocean Island region with a head office in Mauritius, which is called VT Austral, that I head up. And part of that growth and that expansion that we've been busy with last year has been to include South Africa as a plan and a part of our structure for the business. So there's now a company called VT South Africa, which is up and running. Well, not 100% up and running, but it's there, and it's going to be focused on taking batteries to the people. And we're going to have a bit of a different approach to all the other big guys. We're going to do a little bit differently. We're not flashy. We're not going to be in your face, but pretty much like football. You can have the best team on paper, but you don't play on paper. You play on grass. And we're going to play on grass, and we're not going to worry about the paper. So you're going to be seeing quite a lot, and all of you have got a battery in your car, and somewhere along the line you're going to have to replace your battery or a spare part, and you're going to be seeing a lot of the Lucas brand in your face. Okay, so why are we here today? With Lucas being a brand 140 years old, took a dive, went down, and is now busy recovering. And when we looked at entering into the South African market, we felt quite a synergy with Jomo Cosmos. Okay, it's almost been on the same path as what we've been, where it was strong, we've been there, it's been down, and it's going to start growing again and coming back. And with that in mind, part of our strategy about being in people's faces and people seeing our brand is to partner with JMA Cosmos. So we're going to be sponsoring JMA Cosmos. We've got this year, and we're going to see how it grows, and we're going to see how it develops. And also what we want to do is we want to see grounds up growth. Okay, so with the academy, there's a lot of opportunity that we're going to get involved in as well. I'm an ex-footballer, not a Jomo Sono. Okay, not quite anywhere near Jomo, and And John over here, I played amateur, but I come from the Rangers football club ranks. Played there from the time I was 5 years old, so soccer is in my heart. I established a football club in Alberton called Rovers Football Club 25 years ago. It's still going today, and that was just somewhere for my kids to be able to play football in those areas. So I have a soccer heart. My knees show it. Sorry? Not at the moment, no, because my knees don't work so well. My collarbone is broken and my back has taken a beating. But when you play football like we used to play football in the old days, where you never fell down and you never got hurt, or you never showed anybody got hurt, we're there. So this project in South Africa is very personal to us. It's not corporate. The owners of VT in Spain are individuals. We're not a company structured with 20 board members that we need to make decisions. We make a personal decision, we do it, we decide on what we want to do, and we get going. So it's personal for us. The backing from Spain is there for Cosmos, and we're certainly going to give them whatever support they need. They can get back up into where they should be and playing football. And we want to give, most importantly, all these youngsters the chance to be able to get to that league where they should be playing and they want to be playing. So it's very important. So that's why we're here today. This is the start of our journey, and we've got two very strong brands together, and it can only get stronger as we go through the year.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Pizzo. Thank you for coming. He's part of the family. He grew up here. He knows this brand. Yeah, part of the furniture. Pizzo is like a son in this team. You know, he's also like my son. You know, that's why when he's got anything, I'm always around there to make sure that he's behaving. You know, the wife has asked me to check on him all the time. But thank you for making it. Yeah, I don't call him Pizzo, I call him Dala. That's how we call each other. But one thing you didn't say here about John and the name of the team called Rangers. Guys, those who were born that time, hey, the team Rangers was trouble. You don't know. Dala knows. Hey, they were too physical. Even when the first time I met him after a long time after we retired, my ankles were itching because I didn't know whether he was going to tackle me or not. Rangers was very, very popular for hard tackles. They had a left back called Moses Stein. Sure. You remember Moses Stein? I'm talking to the wrong group. So.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm wasting my time there.
The next generation.
Huh? Who? So how old are you now? You said you're 21.
Nigerian passport.
Then to pay the most. But thank you very much, Darren, for a good speech. We will open the floor for any questions that you guys want you want answers from.
Maybe I'll start. Obviously, this is some sort of a statement of intent from your side and from their side. Is this to say now we want the team to come back to the PSL?
Yes. Yes, but the referees must not hear this. Because they hammer, that league is trouble. Yeah, you know, to be honest, we had a plan that we prepared to sacrifice 2 years in this league, just to learn, you know, because we want to get rid of this notion that we go up, come down, up and down. So we planned that 2 years we were prepared to sacrifice and stay and learn about this league. But I think now, most of them here, they've been with me for 2 years or so, they understand this league. So we're not saying we want to go up. We're going to fight to go up because it's not easy. It's a very, very tough league, very tough league. You know, it's not an easy league to play in. People think it's an easy league. It's not. There's a lot of things which are happening there which the media is not aware of because there's no media there. You know, so
I wanted to ask you about off the field. What is happening off the field?
the off the field is not a problem. It's in the field. Off the field, we can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, another question, Roger. We know how you got to have Jomo Cosmos. You had to buy Highlands Park, and teams are buying statuses so that they can have a quick way up. Have you never thought about that to say, this league is tough, let me just go back to where I belong and buy a status?
I don't know. You know, when I bought Highlands Park, it was 50,000 rand. Now you want me to spend 8 million, 10 million on a soccer team, whereby I strongly believe they can go there. For 1 year, it's nothing. I mean, if you look at, times are moving fast. In 1996, we won the Africa Cup of Nations. 96 was yesterday. Look where we are now. So we were prepared to stay another 2 years because I believe they'll go up this season, definitely.
I think it's the right thing.
Huh? It's the right thing. Yeah, don't buy it. Don't buy it.
It's too easy.
Huh?
Too easy to buy.
It's too easy to buy. You have no guarantee as well.
Go back down.
But you don't have a guarantee. That you buy 10 million and then you go down again.
It looks like Mr. Lucas have proposal for you.
So it's
Sponsor have proposal for you.
well, you never know where we could be in 10 months' time or in the next year. We don't know what the situation is, and it could be completely different. But the brain trust sitting in this room here, okay, the last thing you ever want to do, and it's the same in business, is you don't put yourself out there to have attention drawn and have a target on your back. Okay, so you rather take the process, you build talent that you have, and get back up there. It's not easy. It's tough, but you do that way. You don't have people focusing on what's happening every day, where it's taking your mind off what's important. You just focus on every weekend, every game. You get the results. You win. You win the league, and you get promoted, and then you worry about the next challenge.
As soon as these boys have some ambitions and passions like Mr. Jomo.
Yes, they have. That's
how
why
to
they.
transfer this passion and ambitions to them.
That's why they are here. That's why they are here.
It's only fine.
If they didn't have the same
11.
patience, they wouldn't be here. You know, when you talk about buying teams, you were.
Excuse me,
You
I
bought
pay
it.
for draws, not for wins, for draws.
Did you buy a team in South Africa when you first
I
came?
bought Pratomos for 50 grand, like you. I bought Spartak with 50 grand.
50 grand?
In Zibuken.
Oh,
It's
okay.
50 grand, was the same price.
You see, he bought.
But I bought stakes, not players. After that, I paid Safari referee just to play draw.
I'm winding him, you know. I'm winding him. He's talked the whole day. Yes, yes.
Rajay, how important is to have a partnership like this? I would assume that there's some financial input into
It's.
but actually, I'm getting
Yeah.
to the point.
No.
Because, for example, Dondal Stars have won the Gauteng ABC Motsepe League 2 seasons in a row, and now they are no more because of financial constraints. So, one, how important is this? And two, how much have you taken a strain on yourself being in a league where there is no support or little support?
Dondolo Stars is alleged they didn't have a financial constraint. We all know they didn't have it. That is why when they go there, they can't win again. They only win here because it's alleged they didn't have a financial constraint. And we knew they won't last. For sure, they won't last.
They said they're taking a break.
It's not a break. It's gone forever. There's no break here. You know, so it's not easy. Rather build something honestly and go and compete honestly at the top there. Because if you don't compete honestly in this league, when you get to the playoffs, you're out. Yeah, you're out. You won't win a game. So we want to compete, honestly. You know, if the media was covering some of the games, phew, I'm telling you, you know, it wouldn't be fair for anybody to be involved in football. But you need a partner like this, because at SAFA you pay for referees, you pay for your own transport. These guys, they live far, they come from afar, you have to give them allowance as well, you know, so that they can eat, they can travel, they can look after small little things. So you need it here to have a financial backing, and thanks to Darren and John for agreeing to partner with Cosmos. Yes, it's young age or okay. That's young age, so yeah.
But I just want to check, one of the critical things of our football is the issue of scouting. You used to do it back in the day, Coach here, many other players. I saw recently you went back to Newcastle on a scouting mission. Are you trying to revive that thing of looking for players? Because we all know players are there, they just need to be discovered.
No, you know, if you look at Cosmos last season, we had about 5 players from Bushbuck Ridge. And it's the area that nobody thinks that there's players there. If you look at the players behind me, hey, but we are good. Except this one. We are good. Zimbabwe. Scouting. We are good. Yeah, yeah. No, Mkaya. He's coming from the same area where I was born. I didn't select him because of that. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Roger, I think last year around this time, you said you had a competition. There was a boy called Vuyo Litlapa. You had high hopes for the boy. Just take us through. I mean, I know it's not an isolated case, what happened with Vuyo. Some of the challenges that you face in the league in terms of when you scouted a player, you developed the player, in the end you get nothing out of the player.
No. To be honest, it was the issue of Voyo was rectified. It didn't start right. It was wrong, but it ended up all parties sitting on the table, agreeing on the transfer. They ended up paying the transfer. Skukuni.
But do you sometimes, I mean, are there instances where you've developed a player and in the end you don't get anything out of them?
No, we are protected by the FIFA status committee, because if you take a player, let's say, because I strongly believe the whole setup, the FIFA, SAFA or amateur setup is not right, because you develop a player for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, the only thing which they can pay you is development fee. For God's sake, well, you know, and you've got too many teams here who don't want to pay. For instance, like Cheaper United, they have my player. They tell me that no, I'll meet you in court. So we will meet in court. It's not a problem. But I think if you look at the Bosman ruling, we need another Bosman ruling to protect the amateur teams, because they are not protected. They're not second division, NFD, they pay 50,000 per year. Premier League, they pay 100,000 per year until the boy is 23, 24, something. 23. That's all they can pay. But when they sell the player, they sell the player for, let's say, 5 million. There's no clause that says if you sell that player after a certain age, then the amateur team must be compensated. So they are not protected. You get your loose change and then you go, finish. And then the boy becomes a, we are only safe when you're in the NFT. Only safe when you're NFT. Or safe if you pay allowance. If you pay allowance, we are protected. We are highly protected. But how many of them know that in this league? They don't know. Abo presa, most abo presa, they don't understand. Bayalwa nje pensions, yabuya lapha, awazi nokuthi balwelani. Half the time they're fighting. So that's the problem we're having. If we need to have the second Bosman ruling protecting the clubs, not the clubs per se. I mean, even the players. You know, when a player comes from amateur, he joins these professional teams. They don't look at him at the same as looking at that player there on top. Because using a 50,000 rand development, so he's part of the team. But if they pay a transfer, they'll make sure that they play him because they've paid money for him. But if he comes in with a development fee, they don't play him. And then at the end of the season, they just discard him. And the boy has spent 1 year sitting there not doing anything, and his career stopped for 1 year. So we need the Bosman ruling, you know, the second one, to protect the amateurs and the amateur clubs.
Why Jomo Cosmos, and secondly, how long is this partnership?
Can I answer the first one? Why Jomo Cosmos? Because of me, I'm answer.
It's a fact.
I think I
Can I
yeah.
answer a question for you? So there's a couple of reasons. So we see our Lucas brand number one as a legend in the automotive sector, and we see Bra Jomo as a legend in the game of football. Okay, and anyone who knows or has watched him play or been involved with him over the years as to what he's been trying to do, you'll understand why, and that's how we view you know, the name Jomo Sono. The second question as to, is this going to be a longevity project? Is it going to be a short term? We've all got to have a point to start at. We're not the, like I said, we're not the biggest corporate company in the industry or in the sector, but we can hold our own. But as we go, and as the business grows and develops, I don't see any reason why the partnership will not get bigger and stronger. Okay, so the plan is not to wait till the end of the season and say, thanks very much, it's nice. We pride ourselves as a business on relationships with our customers and relationships with partners that we set up, and we always have a view of a long-term outcome and not a short-term. So we're not here to drop a container of batteries and you never ever see us again. Okay, we have to build relationships and be here for the next 50 years. So as we go, we'll have a look and analyze and see how the investment needs to be grown or added, or what else needs to be done, and we'll progress from there as we go. Anyone else?
Are you aware that this team is on the Premier League?
I am aware. I'm aware. There's so much history, you know, and Lucas as a brand has been there as well, where Lucas was at the top of the game, and everybody 30 years ago, if they had a battery replaced in their vehicle, all they wanted was a Lucas battery, because it was, it was the top of its game. It was the Jomo Sono batteries, and remember the circle turns, and that happens for everyone, okay? And you're going to have your time up at the top, and then you're going to go through a restructuring phase and a rebuilding phase, a remodeling phase, and we are both in the exact same phases of our business, where Jomo is busy remodeling, and we're busy remodeling our business and our strategy. And that's why, for me, it makes sense that we have two heroes on the same page, and two legends on the same page.
I must thank you for being around, and especially at this time when they are busy rebuilding the team. And that's where you can have the biggest plan to rebuild the team and the energy. But to bring the team back is more than that. If you look at the teams like Leeds United, how many years they took
Yeah.
to come back. Wimbledon, they're coming. Yes,
Absolutely.
so many years. And they're coming now, but football needs support. And football gets less support than rugby and cricket, we all know. Not to talk politics, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
And for you to be here and us to be in this room, it means a lot. Because some people just walk away and want to talk about football. What I don't like is people talking about football, but they don't contribute. And they always say, yeah, the teams, this, and that. But you could always support, because those teams, Leeds United and them, they still have support. Wherever they are, they still have support.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And teams in the second division, they need support, because I have belief that this team will be back. Yeah, I wish I knew when, but I believe it will be back if things are done right, then it's support. No one has been successful without support. No one. There's nobody who can say I've made it and he has never been supported by anybody. You've been giving a helping hand. So these guys also need the chance and opportunity to come out. He's got the youth programs that I see all the time. From 13 years, 15, 17, 19, and senior team. I think we should all understand the costs incurred in putting those things, transport and all that, because everybody can see this team as the senior team only. But for the team to survive, it needs a foundation, it needs a strong base. You don't need to be buying players from everywhere. So, and the youth wants to look up to this team. They say, this is where we want to go play. So very, very important that we support the whole structure so that it must sustain itself, that going looking for players, buying players. So I'm very humbled, and I want to say thank you for you to be part of this, and I know what youth football is, because now I'm part of youth football. We're 50 coaches. If you have 50 coaches, I think you made them. I think you're a businessman, you can add up figures to say how much is it. And that's where we believe we can add value on the structures, on the foundation, on the youth. One day I hope I can have a player for him so that we can start again and rebuild this team. So thank you for coming.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very, very nice words. Thank you. And we see the same values. I think if you go back to the days, and I remember playing Sundowns and Rangers playing versus Sundowns in the side grounds in a weeknight to play a cup game, but if you don't give new people a chance to develop, you're just continually recycling the same people that you have in the system. And that's why it's important that we give a chance to all of these youngsters to be able to grow. And like you say, Jomo's got the academy, You know, Cosmos has the academy, and they've got youngsters, and those youngsters need to come up so that you can bolster what's happening in the PSL. And if the PSL was so fantastic, Bafana should be number 10 in the world. We're not. Okay, we need new blood. We need new people to come through. It's important, and absolutely. But everyone has to be given a chance. But just like you say that, you need to have some support, and we see ourselves as being fortunate enough to be able to do that.
Yes. No, it was very good to hear from the most prized asset produced in this club. Yes, but Prajay, I think I just want to weigh in on what Coach Peter was talking about. I was talking to one of the new teams in the Premier Division this week, and I was surprised to find that they have to do trials just to have a DTC team, because below the senior team, nothing exists, and they were even playing in a higher division than you were playing. What has kept you going to have a fully fledged from under 13 to the under 19 reserve team in the GDL with all these difficulties Coach Vito has just alluded to, but you continue to have all these structures, and I think maybe in this world of club licensing, shouldn't we having some strong measures so that we avoid this situation where when you get promoted, especially to the elite division, you don't have a layer as required by club licensing regulations.
No, thank you very much. To be honest, you know, the reason of some of us getting involved in development and grooming these young kids is because we were also given a chance. I was given a chance at the age of 14. So it's a payback time for some of us. Peter was given a chance. It's a payback time for Peter. That's why he's got Peter School going around. So it's a payback. You know, the only people who come into football and drop it and go are people who've got tenders, who came here to football not understanding. You know, they've never played the game. They just being awarded a tender somewhere in Mpumalanga, and then they put the money back into football. Later, when it doesn't work, they run away. We can't, because we feel we owe football. Football has given us a life, all of us. So that is why you find us getting stuck into football and grooming and developing, because sometimes it's so nice to see a young kid growing up and become a superstar. For me, I was the proudest coach to see Bito becoming what he was. I would never shout about it, but I was proud to say, hey, I discovered that guy in Rockville. You know, and the following week he played against my team, but I was watching him. He scored a goal. We beat them 9-1, and he scored a goal. You know, Rockville Hungary was an amateur team. It was a cup, ne? Yeah, so they pitted professional against us, and we beat. Immediately after the game, we said, no, we're taking him. And I think sometimes we don't address each other properly. You know, he's a doctor now. I'm proud. You know. Huh? Come again, sir? Oh, okay. Okay. Sometimes I forget, you know. And I feel so proud that today is what it is, because he started at Cosmos. You know, and there's so many of them. You know, this morning we have this Jomo Cosmos channel now on YouTube, and I'll be asking all the legends like Dr. Musimani to send me their videos when they were playing overseas, I've been asking them, and the one player sent today, Benjani. She says he was a good player. I wasn't aware because I've been here in South Africa. I only see him there and there. But he sent some of his goals when he was playing for Portsmouth, Man City, Portsmouth. Unbelievable goals, you know. And I was proud to say he's also one of my products. But I have to, you know, say I can't believe. And they'll start sending all of them because some of the clips I've never seen them. You know, because when they grow, they move one direction, and I move one direction. You know, so I think the channel will help us a lot to see what they've been doing all these years as soccer players. But it's very interesting. You have to see this, some of the goals some of these guys are scoring. I was telling John and Darren this morning, not because it's here, and I think I've said it to my players. Somebody posed a question to me to say, you have produced the best strikers this country has ever seen. And then this guy started counting all the strikers for me. It was Benjani, Katongo, Mamadou Diallo, Masinga, Eric September, August Makalakalani, Isao Kanyenda, Tiko, Russell Mofuawe. There was a Congolese guy, Andre Konangole. Jesus. This Andre Konangole. And they were 10, and he asked me a question. Who do you think was the best? Not because he's here. I said, you know what? Maybe I played with him in the same team. I think for me, Bito was the best. Not because he's a South African. You know, because he was a hell of a striker. I always tell the players, he was unbelievable. You know, and I never say this publicly. And then he said, okay, give me 3 of the best strikers. I said, Bito 1, 2, this Andre Konangole. I don't think you saw this guy. This guy was, you remember him? This guy was top class, top. When we moved him to Turkey, he became the top goal scorer in Turkey for 3 years. This guy was not known. There's also Ndai Kalenga.
Yes.
Ndai Kalenga as well.
That's
So-
a foreign one who was recently
No, it was Mamadou, the one who got my baby fired.
There's one I'll remember the name. He was with you.
And there was also Anthony Lafont.
It's not.
Hmm?
It's not enough.
There was a guy who got my baby to retire. They called him Mamadou Diallo. He got him to retire in Rustenburg. Olympia, yeah. He got him fired that day. So we have produced. So your answer is that it's a cousin. Senguphendulile.
Just sorry to intervene. So now, as you produce the likes of Isco Masing, the list is endless. So
What about you?
Asiyeke lapha.
What about you? Talk about yourself that you also come from this team. Yeah, Nanda, Maro. Ula. Okay.
Let me just say, personal, as you one of top scout good players in the team, Cosmos. Ibhedu lakho bephezulu bayiseliflethile. Now the bonus is selizotshajeleka. Now ibhedu lizoshasha. Tell them to ubuye futhi. Just revive again the likes of Pizzo. This page could have helped you. Don't have an excuse.
No, it's a statement, so I can answer.
Maybe just as a follow-up to this question, on the issue of businessmen who come into the game, maybe
Tender.
Yeah, tender players who come into the game.
I like that one, tender.
Their hearts are not in the right
No,
place. They
no,
come for publicity and whatever.
Yeah.
If things go wrong, they leave and they don't
Yeah.
care. Do you think maybe that's where part of the problem of football?
But there's nothing you can do about it. If you look at the world now, you look at England. Who owns 80% of the teams in England? The Arabs. You know, you go to France, you go to, especially England, 80% there is owned by foreigners and only businessmen. So it's something which you cannot control. If the tenderers, they come in here, they have the money, they put the money, you can't stop them because you want football to grow. And the only way to grow the game is putting money into the game.
I think the team started very well last season. I think for quite a while, I think you had the job. Where do you feel it went wrong?
I think we went wrong with the break. You know, remember we have a break in December and we come back in January. And only to find out we have players who don't live here in Joburg. Like I said, make an example, Bushbuck Ridge. I don't know what happens there with December. I know there's a lot of Majomani get dancing there. The guys came back very late for the next season. And I think that's where everything started to, because most of them were not fit. And they came late. And we had one player who was, I won't mention his name, who was not normal, which happens in a football club. He came the latest. You don't know when is he going to be available. And he was my best player. In that position, in his position, he was the best. Nobody could compete with him in that position. But he also came after 3 weeks. We had already started. So the problem is we have to plan for the break, for that break, that after Christmas, we must fetch these people. We'll have a car to go and fetch them so that they come back. Because they don't come back. December, they don't come back. They come back late. And then that's when the trouble started. We started dropping because the level of fitness was high when we started. And then that break, because you can be fit for the whole year. And you know, it takes a week to lose your fitness. A week or 3 days. That's it, finished. The player is not fit anymore. But the player trained for a month or 6 weeks, because pre-season must be about 6 weeks. He trains for that 6 weeks. He doesn't train for 3 days or 4 days. That's it, that fitness is gone. It can't recover. So we have to make sure that we control them, that in December, that's why the trouble starts. Then they must come back, all of them at the same time. That's where we went wrong. And that time Dondolo was hot. Not in the field of playing, but they were hot. You will know what I mean. They were January, they were hot, Dondolo. They were very hot. They're very strong, January. Hey, January they're strong. You know, and you can't compete with them, January. You can't compete with them. January they are the hottest, but thanks God they are not here anymore, so they are gone. But we don't know. Maybe another creature will come up there. We've had stories that there's a new creature coming in. They sold. They sold to? Dondolo sold to Luruma, ne?
Yeah.
No, can't be.
TUT.
Yeah, TUT.
Right. I heard that TT wants to buy Sundowns, M Tigers.
Yeah, M Tigers, apparently they closed it. Apparently, M Tigers is gone. But I'm very surprised you don't know. It's unlike you. Eh?
No, I know.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
I know, I
Oh,
know.
okay, okay.
I'm telling you about possible buyers.
Oh, okay, okay. I benza tawsa somkaya. Any more?
Thanks so much.
Guys, don't be